Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and this video is full of tactics that will blow your mind. This game was a rapid game and was played between Fabiano Caruana versus Alireza Firouzja. You all might be knowing both of them. They are quite famous and super grandmaster. One might be currently number 3, another one may be number 5. So keeping their number aside, they're pretty strong. This game was played on chess.com in Champion Chess Tour, and it was a rapid game having 10 minutes time control. Now let's start the game. Fabiano with the white piece, he opened the game with the c4, some kind of English opening, and here Alireza simply replied with c6 with the idea to something like for Caro-Kann and bringing this bishop out, the similar kind of idea. So here just following the development principle, Fabiano simply developed his knight here, and now as per simply typical Caro-Kann idea, pushing this d5, bringing this bishop out, went for that plan Alireza. So here simply g3 with the idea to push this, develop this bishop here, going for castling, this kind of ideas, and this bishop came out with the pinning idea to this knight. And this is simply Caro-Kann bishop and simply getting out from this pawn chain, and just unlike from French defense, the bishop got stuck back of the pawn chain, so it got out with the idea now maybe this pawn push will come and solidify the center. Now here Fabiano played something very interesting, like something out of chess principle, moving the piece twice. This knight moved twice in the opening, getting some tempo to the bishop, so considering that, that's fine, and the bishop goes at f5 as this tempo is here. And now the typical move, queen b3, idea to trade this pawn. Now remember, this thing happened in London system as well. Whenever you play your bishop f4, this bishop comes at f5, always this pawn gets weakened. Similar kind of this pawn's also weakened. So both the side try to bring the queen here, go for this pawn, and that's a typical idea. So Fabiano just went for that, and Alireza just protected this pawn in most aggressive way, bringing the queen here. Now you simply can't take the queen, the idea being queen takes, pawn takes, he will get the open rook. On the other hand, black also can't take the queen, takes, pawn takes, and this is the open file. So both the player will always avoid to trade the queen, so that the player can accept this pawn and get a very active rook over this file. So generally both the player avoid that. And here what Caruana did, took the pawn. Now here Alireza thought, okay, now once this pawn is gone, now I can have an idea. Now I can take this queen, takes, he will have two isolated pawn, although he has a free, like here his rook is active, but he will have two isolated pawn here. Soon after taking the pawn, I can bring my bishop here, getting some tempo to the rook. Certainly he will save his rook, maybe pushing this pawn, bringing this knight here, something he will do. Then I will take this pawn, getting the tempo to this bishop, and he really doesn't have any good move to protect that pawn, this isolated pawn. If this pawn push comes, maybe this pawn push is coming, attacking this pawn. So simply this is great for black. So here he took, Alireza took, Fabiano took the queen, and as per plan, bishop comes. Oh my god, bishop comes at e4, eyeing towards this rook. And he thought, Alireza thought something might be this coming, maybe this rook, this bishop will, knight will go back, or maybe this rook will come, because he simply can't give up his rook, he has to save his rook, right? But here Fabiano did something wonderful. He told, you take my rook, I am not bothered, you just take my rook. So now here Alireza thought, okay, I can take his rook here. On the other hand, once this pawn takes, I can take this pawn with the bishop itself, because my bishop is completely monster over this diagonal. You simply can't take it and can't threat to take this one. On the other hand, if you push this one, maybe I can bring my knight here, simply protecting this square through my rook, and I'm pretty safe here. And if you push, I'll take. So Alireza didn't find anything interesting here. So what he did, he took the rook, man. He just took the rook. Now can you find the winning move? That will blow your mind. That's crazy tactics, man. Giving up the rook here, one rook he gave up. He's telling you, take my another rook, I'm not bothered, just take it, man. And he has to take it, doesn't have any other option. Took, and this wonderful c7. You just see now, man, this once the c7 comes, this knight is threatened to take queening, and mating, because remember this knight is already protected the square. On the other hand, this push is also unstoppable. You simply can't stop that. King can't penetrate here. This square is covered. This square is covered. If knight moves something, this pushes this move or this move, this knight and this pawn is going to promote it. You simply can't stop that pawn from queening. Queening and mate. That's a beauty. That's a beautiful, man. That's beautiful. And remember, this kind of tactics also happen when you have like London system, like as I told, like bishop f4, bishop f5, queen goes here, threatening to take this pawn, queen comes. So you might have this kind of tactics in London system as well as, and also I am covering a series from 100 to 2000 elo. I'm just simply playing London. You guys can have a look. Hopefully that will improve your chess as well. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye bye.